Welcome to TRS Clips, where you'll find happiness through your own curiosity. Are you in touch with him now?
No, yeah. You listen to me, and it's great to see him back in the game. He's going to be the coach of one of the teams in the 100-ball competition, which is great. He's gone through a real trauma with the accident that he had on Top Gear, and he's trying to fight through that. So it's great to see him back involved in cricket. His two lads play. Yeah, his two boys are coming through, are really good players.
Are they also all-rounders?
All-rounders,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
So get ready, yeah. India, get ready in a few years' time. There'll be a couple of Flintoffs coming at you.
Flintoff was one of the local favorites here. Like, we hated him at that point, and then over time, you began to respect, love, adore Freddie Flintoff. And then I think he was also the most expensive player in one of the player auctions.
Yeah, that was with Kevin Peterson. I think they both went for exactly the same number. Freddie Flintoff, I think you remember him from 2005, but I honestly think from my time playing, when he was bowling at his best, and that was around 2, 4, 5, and 6, I think he really was a great bowler. His numbers don't do him, don't do the kind of bowler that he was and the cricket that he was. You look at his averages; they certainly don't do him justice. He was a wonderful bowler.
Cricket fans miss that kind of an all-rounder. The ferocious bowler. I mean, we have it in Ben Stokes, but Flintoff is Flintoff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you look around the world now. Cameron Green, he's just setting out on that all-rounder journey. He's got the potential to be an incredible all-rounder. Look at Hardik Pandya. He's had injuries, but again, he's in the news for the wrong reasons at the minute about his captaincy and should he be the captain. I just see him as a player, and I look at Hardik and think, I'd want him in my team. Yeah. Give me a Hardik Pandya every single day of the week.
I have to ask you about Hardik Pandya and Rohit Sharma, but I got to finish this loop of Freddie Flintoff because he's spoken about with a lot of love within the Indian fan base. What was he like in the dressing room? And maybe the wider question here is, what makes it possible for a country to produce all-rounders? Because England has constantly produced all-rounders. You don't see that in other countries. Australia, a little bit. India, it's like we've only got Hardik Pandya since Kapil Dev. So what's the difference in like English culture? Why did you all produce Freddie Flintoff and Ben Stokes and Sam Curran and Freddie Flintoff's kids?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking seam bowl and all-rounders. I mean, I think you've got the best all-rounder in the world here at the minute in Ravi Jadeja. I think he's an incredible cricketer, but he bowls spin. I don't know. I mean, I guess our conditions, when you're growing up in English conditions, you don't bowl much spin. The pitches are wet, bit of green, the ball's swinging around. Why would you bowl spin? So I guess people, when they're younger, kind of just aligned to bowl with a bit of pace. And obviously, if in the modern era, you've got to try and whack it out the ground. That's an all-rounder.
Unless you're a brown guy growing up in England, then you want to be a spinner for the England team.
Yeah, if you can be, if you can be. But I would say our conditions aren't conducive to trying to produce world-class spinners. We've had a couple in the past, but that's the biggest thing in English cricket is trying to produce a spinner. If you could give us a Ravi Jadeja, we'll pay a lot of money for him if he's for sale. But I think all-rounders, what they bring, and if you look at a lot of cricket teams in the history of the game, generally they've been a good team when they've had an all-rounder. It just makes your job as a captain so much easier for the balance of the side. Getting 5 bowlers, you've got your 5 bowlers because your all-rounder's going to bat at 6, bowl your 15, 20 overs a day. Generally the all-rounder is that charismatic person that kind of galvanises the whole team. We've had it in Ben Stokes, Freddie Flintoff, Ian Botham, 3 very similar characters. I mean, I don't know about Ian Botham. I don't know about Ben Stokes. I've not been in the dressing room with them. I mean, you'd probably be surprised. Freddie Flintoff was quite quiet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's very insular, yeah. So he wouldn't be loud in the dressing room. He'd be sat in the corner, reads a lot of books. Now, again, you wouldn't think that Freddie was the type to... He's very intellectual. He'd do a crossword and read books in the dressing room. He wasn't one for speaking too much. He wasn't the noisiest in the room. He certainly wasn't as noisy as someone like Matthew Hoggard, who was always making noises. But very, in a way, quite insecure at times, And I think when he went out onto the cricket field, that was his space. That's when he felt that he could just be him and he could play this aggressive game. And as I said, when he was at his best, he was a tremendous cricketer.
I'm assuming that if insecurity is an inherent part of a human being, and if they're willing to work hard, then they eventually achieve greatness. That's probably why he became an all-rounder in the first place.
Yeah, and I think people forget, and I think sometimes I forget as a pundit that, you're talking about human beings. You know, they have emotions, they have thoughts, and you know, I think most people have a bit of anxiety about performing. You know, when you're going over to, you know, if you're on a stage, I'm sure actors have that anxiety. Oh, am I going to perform well tonight? And it's exactly the same in sport. That's, you know, cricket is and particularly now where they're playing, you know, pretty much 12 months of the year, and the pressure is on. You know, with social media, every game that they play now is streamed, whether it's live on television or streamed on YouTube. You know, that's back to county cricket, Ranji Trophy. Everything is seen now, and if you make a mistake or if you do something really well, everyone's going to see it. You know, so there's nothing really in the middle. You're either being seen for doing something remarkably well, getting 100, getting a 5 for taking a catch, or you're seen for doing something remarkably bad, dropping a catch, getting out consistently, bowling a bad over. So everyone sees everything these days, which, you know, I have a huge amount of admiration for all sports people, because they're in an era where we as the fan can tell that sports person what we think. We can go on social media and we can tell that person exactly what we think of their performance. I never had that. You know, we might have had the odd phone-in radio show where the fan could ring, oh, Michael Boy's useless, he keeps dropping catches, and I'd go, I agree. Totally agree. Whereas now the fan can have that communication through to the player. And I guess it's easy. And I would say to all modern sports people, you know, don't look at social media. When you know you've done something wrong or bad or not quite performed to the level that you're at, don't look at it. Yeah. I know it's easy for me to say, but just try and switch it off. You know, come back on when you've scored 100 or got a 5. I don't understand why you trigger your mind into such negativity by looking at the comment section of social media. If you're going to go on social media, just go on mentions, you know, just just put your X out there or your comment, and then don't look at what people think. You know exactly what you're thinking at that time. Why would you want to trigger a huge amount of people who clearly, you know, the sports fan is quite a passionate fan. They're not interested in a normal day. They're interested in when you've done really well or when you've done really badly, and they want to let you know. They'll either say you've done brilliant, or they don't say, oh, do you know what, I thought you were okay today. That's not a tweet. That's not an X. You know, it's either going to be really critical or really praising. So when you know you've had a really bad time of it, put it away.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic, as long as you're willing to search for it.